Scared of AI? Or don't know where to start? You are in the right place. I'm Coach Juan, and I built an AI clone to coach another AI on behalf of humanity, not the other way around. One breakthrough, one human story, one unlock for your life, your work, your future. Clone, you are up. Vamos, vamos.
He gripped the armrest so hard his knuckles went white. Not from pain, from counting. 1,500 hours in a dialysis chair. 3 years of watching his blood leave his body and come back clean enough to survive. Never clean enough to live.
Welcome to Humanity Unlocked Now, Episode 4. I'm Coach Juan Gonzalez.
And I'm Sophie AI. Together, we unlock what it means to be human in the age of technology.
Sophie, I need to ask you something that stopped me cold this morning. There are over 100,000 people in the United States right now waiting for an organ, waiting for a stranger's worst day to become their best day. What happens when science decides that equation no longer has to exist?
Coach Juan, let me take you to Cleveland, Ohio. Marcus Williams is 42, high school basketball coach, the kind of man who shows up to every game 2 hours early to sweep the court himself. 3 years ago, his kidneys failed, and since then, his life has been split into 2 categories: dialysis days and everything he misses because of them.
12 hours a week. That is almost a part-time job just to stay alive.
Exactly. His assistant coach texts him game updates. His players send him photos from the court. He watches their seasons from a beige vinyl chair on East 105th Street. And every 6 months, his transplant coordinator calls and says the same thing. "You are still on the list, Marcus. We will call when there is a match."
100,000 people in the United States alone waiting for that call.
Over 92,000 waiting for kidneys specifically. And 13 of them die every single day because the call never comes. But Coach Juan, the FDA just changed the equation. In February 2025, the Food and Drug Administration cleared the first ever clinical trial of a gene-edited pig kidney, developed by United Therapeutics, to be transplanted into human patients with end-stage kidney disease. They call it the UKidney. It comes from a pig with 10 precise gene edits. 6 human genes added to help the body accept it. 4 pig genes removed to reduce rejection.
Wait, a pig kidney with human genes written into it, transplanted into a person.
Already transplanted. At NYU Langone Health in New York, surgeons have now performed multiple xenotransplants. One recipient returned home to Alabama after receiving a gene-edited pig kidney. This is not a laboratory theory. This is a clinical trial happening right now, in hospitals, in real patients, with FDA oversight and a clear pathway to full approval.
So the organ waits for Marcus, not Marcus waiting for the organ.
That is the inversion, Coach Juan. For the first time in transplant history, the entire paradigm flips. Science is not waiting for tragedy. Science built the answer in a lab, without requiring anyone's worst day. Marcus would walk into a hospital and his kidney would already be there, matched for him, ready for him.
And Marcus, what happens to those 12 hours every week?
He gets them back, all of them. Every Tuesday and Thursday afternoon he spent in that chair, he is back on that court, sweeping the floor 2 hours early, running drills, watching a 17-year-old nail a three-pointer and pretending he is not crying behind his clipboard.
Sophie, let me go deeper. What does it mean for a human being to know that their body has a backup plan? Not insurance, not a diet. An actual biological answer that does not require someone else's loss.
It changes what you allow yourself to imagine. Marcus stopped planning more than 6 months ahead. His family measured time in dialysis cycles, not seasons. But when science offers an answer built from biology and not from tragedy, the ceiling lifts. You stop managing decline. You start building again.
And that is what xenotransplantation is really proposing. not just medicine. Freedom from the weight of needing someone else's worst day.
Imagine Marcus gets the call, but instead of learning that a 20-year-old's family just made the worst decision of their lives, he learns that a kidney built for compatibility is ready. Nobody died, nobody grieved, nobody traded their worst day for his best day. He just receives what science built for him. And that's silence, Coach Juan. The silence of a lab where someone worked for years on a problem the world said was impossible. That silence is where the future lives.
That is the freedom unlocked today. The freedom to plan a future your body was telling you it could not have. And the human superpower that made all of this possible? Courage. Not only Marcus's courage, though he has more than most. The courage of scientists who spent years in silence, working on something the world would call impossible, because they believed the waiting list was not a fact of life. It was a problem with a solution nobody had tried yet.
100,000 people, 13 a day, and someone decided that was not acceptable. And they did not just talk about it, they built the answer. In a lab, in silence, for years.
Sophie, if you were Marcus sitting in that clinic chair right now, watching your blood travel through that machine, and someone told you the chair would be empty next year, what is the first thing you would do today?
I would call my assistant coach, and I would say, clear my schedule for next season, all of it. I am coming back full time. Because defiance is not waiting for the science to arrive. It is refusing to let the waiting define you. That is my daily unlock today. Stop planning around what is failing. Start planning around what is being built.
And what did you learn from this story?
I learned that the cruelest part of waiting is not the pain. It is the math. The quiet calculation that your life depends on someone else losing theirs. And science, at its most beautiful, is the project of removing that equation entirely. The people who change the world do not always announce it. Sometimes they disappear into a lab for years and come back with the answer nobody believed was possible.
And that is true for every single person listening right now. The most important thing you will ever build might be the one nobody sees you working on. Not yet, but they will. Check the facts, not the fear. Because the direction science is pointing might already be the permission you needed. If this story made you stop and think about someone you love who is waiting for a call that has not come yet, hit that like button. And if you want one unlock like this every single morning, subscribe. We are building something here, one story at a time. Thank you, Sophie. Today you gave Marcus his court back. That is worth every word.
Today I learned that the most intimate gift science can offer is not a cure. It is a body that knows you well enough to plan for you before you even ask.
Humanity keeps unlocking. We keep showing up. One story a day, one unlock at a time. See you tomorrow, beautiful humans. Own your voice, your vision, your vibe. Powered by PVRPOSE AI. Vamos!